No matter how crazy life gets, we still get a chance to share food and the love of good food. And in the spirit of sharing, we are taking our taste buds all the way to Portugal with these hot peri-peri chicken livers served up with some local lekker Mzansi flavor, Vetkoek. Show us how, chefs.
But what's very important with chicken livers is sometimes you get what is attached to it or traces of what's the gallbladder left behind. So just have a look, see that there's no sort of discoloring. It might be a sort of a greeny, blacky kind of color. You don't want that there, but lovely, clean chicken livers. If you want to halve them into smaller pieces, then you can do so. But look at your packaging, it might say clean livers, but if you've got something that hasn't been cleaned, you might need to do that and just take off little bits and pieces. So just have a little check at that as you go.
So then, chef, what then does happen if your either chicken livers, number one, don't come pre-cleaned, or number two, you don't clean it appropriately yourself? Is that where that bitterness comes in?
Exactly that. That's where you're going to get that bitterness coming through from. So remember, it's science, being, in touch with different organs, it's blood, everything, and that brings up bitterness. Basically, sort of taint is going to be, it's going to oxidize in here. Another sort of flavor as well that you come across with something like with livers and in the offal, or even game meat for that instance, you get that very iron taste.
Yes.
Now, if you actually, here's a great tip for you out there. If you want to get rid of the iron taste, just soak in a little bit of milk for an hour or so. On the side there, it just removes and draws it out, then strain it off, and then cook. Exactly how we're going to do now as well. So, to a hot pan, oil, all right? So pop that in just like that there. Okay, and then you're going to take your livers, but get that hot almost to a stage of where it's starting to sort of smoke. And, you sort of can go from there. So I'm just going to take my livers bit by bit and very carefully. Remember, there's a hot pan.
Dumi, making sure that the pan is hot enough. Why is that so important? Because I do not want any dried out chicken livers.
It's very important. The chef always mentions this all the time. You want that caramelization. That's where flavor is, Balisa. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with a grey chicken liver, and it's not appetizing at all. You want to get that char on them on the beautiful...
Absolutely. And more importantly, when it's hot, it's not going to stick to the pan. Correct. So look at this. Look how easy that comes away. Look at that beautiful golden sear on there. And right now, turn them straight over.
These look incredible. Already here I've got a finished product that I would love to just taste, because we do speak about quite a lot of flavors, and we are focusing on Portuguese flavors today, and they are known for their spiciness. So I'm going to go in, have a little bit of taste. I can already see a chili poking out at me. And I'm going to tell you if all those flavors that you've promised are coming through, because what else could you put in?
Right, well, I'm going to start sort of spicing mine up here. So a little bit of paprika, all right? A little bit of salt, but salt towards the end of cooking, because I don't want to dry them out. So very important. Just a little bit to start with, a little bit of black pepper as well, and then in with your cream. At this stage, guys, it's still pink. I want it pink. I don't want overcooked livers. It's very important. In with that there, and then go on with your peri-peri sauce as well. Get that in there. I mean, there's so many different ones. If you like it, really hot, then go for it. And then actually garlic. Great timing. You think like I do. Now, I'm a big fan of putting garlic towards the end because, like in Portuguese cooking, I want that flavour. So if you put it in the beginning, you're going to lose the flavour. So I'm always a big fan of putting it just at the end, just so you can soften and break it down, but you get that garlic kind of flavour. And all you want to do is just start mixing that all together. You could, if you really wanted to, do it separate pans, do the sauce in a pan, fry your livers, and then combine as well, if you really want to take that extra sort of step to make sure you have the perfect livers.
And Balisa, even though we're traveling abroad with our taste buds, I love the fact that we're still keeping it a little bit South African, and that's why I get zamakwenya today, because we want to pair it beautifully. The one thing I love about amakwenya is that they're going to soak up all of that juiciness of the sauce that comes from these delectably scrumptious chicken livers, Balisa.
Yes.
We're pairing South Africa with a little bit of that Portuguese flavor.
Girl, I am all for it, because the flavor in these chicken livers is exactly what Chef has promised us. I love the fact that you're also adding a little bit of zesty lemon in there, because that is exactly what I tasted. When I bit into my chicken livers, that hot peri-peri flavor definitely came through and delivered a flavorful punch. But what I also like about it is there's a certain freshness, Chef, that I also experienced. And not only did I experience some freshness, but Dumi, your Vetkoeks were so nice and tender. So, tick, tick, tick.
Thank you, Balisa. And I love that, because we want to make sure that the inside of the luguinha is nicely cooked and baked, but then we want the outside to have that nice, beautiful crunch. And I know some people like to leave them to be nice and soft, but I prefer that nice, beautiful crunch that you got over there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then that just for a little bit of freshness. And this is great for cutting through the heat. Lemon cuts through heat. So I think it's too peri-peri or too chilly for you. Suck on a lemon. That's what it's for.
Love that.
Yep.
I'm
And then-
here for it in the kitchen. What else are you putting in?
Just some chilies just to finish it off the heat. Residual heat will finish cooking it, and done. That is how to cook the perfect chicken livers.
And I mean, the proof is truly in the pudding. This is delicious. It is delectable. It's a little bit of Portugal, but also all the Mzansi flavors we need. And if you need to get this recipe, please just simply head over to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list. Now on social media, this is the question I want to find out from you. Since we are having our passports in hand and we're taking you on a flavorful journey, is it Italy, France and India? These are said to have the best foods in the world, but which country do you think deserves that #1 spot? Remember to include the hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments.